It's on page 52 in this book. It's called In All Things. It was easy to love God in all that was beautiful. The lessons of deeper knowledge, though, instructed me to embrace God in all things. It was easy to love God in all that was beautiful. Oh, the people that I love, my besties. The most beautiful place I've ever been. That moment when I met somebody that made my heart go pitter patter, pitter patter. Oh, it was so easy to see God in those moments, in those people, in those things. But St. Francis says, and this is what all the mystics say, my dear, God is in all things. The torment, the trauma, the darkest days, the resentments, the hatred, things going on in the world that you're so upset about. Can you see God there, my dear? God is in all things. We see St. Francis at Walmart, you know, the statues with birds. He's a garden saint, right? He attracts birds. However, perhaps the most famous story is about how St. Francis befriended a wolf. So the story goes, and I happened to live in Assisi for a while, okay? You know, my journey has been a bit crazy. I don't know how many degrees I have. It's far too many. I think I have 3 master's degrees. But in one of my educational chapters of life, I was in Italy and I was studying Italian in Assisi, where St. Francis was. Now, one of the towns near Assisi is called Gubbio. Gubbio, in his day, was a little village, and all of the villages had walls around them, okay? And they attacked each other. So Assisi was at war with Gubbio, who was at war with Perugia. Anyway, so this little village had the people in it. And the problem was this wolf was terrorizing the livestock, okay? Livestock is infancies usually, okay? It's not wild prey. It's not rabbits running or deer running. The wolf was coming in to the domesticated livestock area and eating that for dinner. And it was really upsetting the villagers. They're like, wolf, what are you doing killing our property? Why don't you go and feed yourself in the wild like other wolves do? And then they sent out some of their family members to try to kill the wolf because he was killing their property. Well, guess what? When they approached the wolf to kill the wolf, what do you think the wolf did? Attacked the humans and killed them. Okay, wouldn't you if somebody was coming at you? Okay, this is what the wolf in us does, doesn't it? Somebody comes at us, we're going to go back at them. I mean, it's just basic survival. So there's this wolf problem in Gubbio. So they think, well, we've done everything we can. We tried to kill it. So why don't we call on a saint? Okay, we'll call St. Francis. He said, St. Francis, you live not too far away. Can you please help us with this wolf problem? We've hit a wall here. And he says, well, let me pray. Okay, so right there, we see a teaching of the mystics that is quite different from what we usually do. Somebody calls on us to help. Our tendency is not usually to say, well, let me just be by myself and pray. It's, oh, I'm going to rush in and fix it, or I know exactly what to do. Okay, so we're back to one of our mantras of last week, which is we take time to stop and listen. Because we actually don't know often. So he prayed and he was guided to come and help the village of Gubbio deal with their wolf problem. And how did he do that? They were all terrified, staying behind their city wall. They didn't want to venture out, so they became imprisoned by their own fear of a single wolf in the woods. And please see the symbolism here. Where are you imprisoned by a fear you have of something outside of yourself, some energy that we might say is negative. Maybe it's greed, maybe it's fear, maybe it is aggressive and goes after people or yourself. Maybe it's a form of self-hatred. A wolf feeds on prey. So there's great symbology here. So Francis leaves the city. By himself, he goes out into the woods, the dark forest, where there's this wolf waiting. The wolf is waiting in the dark forest. And he goes there alone without a weapon. But he has a presence, doesn't he? He has a state of consciousness that is in love with all of life, that sees God in all things. So how could he be afraid? He's going to see God. You see how that state of consciousness is a state of fearlessness. It's very powerful. So he goes there, and of course, as soon as he arrives, the wolf is aware this person has come, and he's kind of checking him out. But realizes St. Francis is not there to kill him. So he approaches, and St. Francis said, Brother Wolf, what have you been doing? Can you please explain yourself? See, he dialogues with the energy that's been destroying. He's not afraid of it. He's not going to kill it. He actually is interested. And that's how we are instructed to be with these very parts of ourselves that lie hidden in the depths that are really coming after us in many ways. But so he's like, okay, well, what? Please explain yourself. Why have you been killing the animals? Why have you been killing the humans? And the wolf says, well, I was injured, wounded. Isn't that what happens to us often? We get wounded somewhere. Somebody tells us we're not worth anything, or they take out their anger on us, or they break our heart, they break up with us, and we limp along. And out of that, we become aggressive. So he says, I got wounded and my pack abandoned me. So I've been here alone, injured. And the truth is, because of my wounds, I can't do what wolves usually do to feed themselves. I can't chase deer. They're too fast. I've just been trying to get along here. So I can eat my dinner if it's easy to catch. So that's why I had to do the livestock of the village. So St. Francis said, well, I really have compassion for you, Brother Wolf. So how about we try to make things right? There's no need for you to have to be stuck out here. No need for the people to be imprisoned by their fear. I think we can, all come together as one. So this is amazing. So St. Francis takes the wolf into the village, and they're all like, but because of his state of consciousness, and because he sees God in all of them, and because he knows the power of love, he says, how about we forgive the wolf? And wolf, could you please promise, instead of hurting these people, you have an amazing energy. Could you please use it to be a guardian of the city? Instead of being their enemy, could you use your watchfulness, your instinct, everything that you're made to be in nature, could you use it to guard the village? And he says, yes, I would be really happy to do that. And how am I going to be fed? Well, that's my main problem. I need to eat. That's what got us into this whole thing. And St. Francis asked the village, well, hey, village members, how about you agree to feed the wolf so that he doesn't have to kill to eat? I think this is a marvelous example of how a mystic state sees what most people don't see. It's free of fear. It's free of aggression. It sees a win-win situation. It accepts basic nature and instinct and is able to direct it toward a higher purpose. That's what it means to see God in all things. We don't reject it. We don't judge it. We say, how can it be utilized toward a higher purpose of peace and love? So St. Francis is famous because of a prayer that's called the St. Francis prayer, right? Y'all know that? Lord, make me a channel of thy peace. Where there is sorrow, may I bring joy. Where there's hatred, may I bring love. Where there's despair, may I bring hope, etc. Now, all of these prayers and stories are about both the outer life, where there's despair there, may I bring hope. In places of suffering, may I be there as a presence of love, etc. And within our own inner village, because we have a lot going on inside of ourselves. Sometimes there's sorrow, sometimes there's anger, sometimes there's despair, sometimes there's hatred. So when we say, may I be a channel of thy peace, we're also saying a prayer for our own inner peace. Wherever I have despair, may I bring hope. Wherever I have hatred, may I bring love. You see how it works? We don't hate the hatred. We don't hate the despair. We don't reject anything because God is in all things. Even in our darkest hour, in our addictions, in our resentments, the wolf inside of us. So, is that even possible? Now you might say, because I know some of you are very well educated and scientific, and you're like, oh, that can't have happened. That's just all legend. Forget that. Well, maybe it is. But there's something that we call archetypal truth. Okay. And some of these stories of the saints and mystics, if we try to fact check it, we might be disappointed. But if we resonate with it as a soul truth, a spiritual truth, an archetypal story that is inspiring, then it carries through the ages. We're talking centuries. This story has carried through the ages to point out something to us that I think we find in this opening poem, that it was easy to see God in all the beautiful things, but the deeper lesson instructed me to see God in all things. So when we see God in all things, we don't have to kill it. We don't have to abandon it. We don't have to push it away. We can talk to it and say, what's going on for you? So I love that story because it's a symbol of how we can approach our own instincts, our own drives, the parts of us that we would just cast away into the deep, dark forest, which is a symbol of the unconscious. It's where many of us have been trained, often by religion, to relegate the parts of ourselves that we don't know what to do with, that maybe are destructive, or maybe are going to chew us alive, or maybe are going to be terrifying. So St. Francis shows us how to make peace with nature, including our own nature, the wolf in yourself that's been let's see, we wanted Cathy to share her art. Where is she? Can you?
I can. Yeah, and also my painting was a story, which was kind of cool. I don't know if you can see it.
Good.
So over there is St. Francis and the Wolf. And that was the story that I read because it came in our class last night. I should back up, I guess.
Look at you. That's beautiful.
So that's
yeah,
me.
share.
Yeah, like I've recovered from a thyroid condition that was very serious. And I consider St. Francis like the self, and the wolf represented the part of us that we had exiled that was terrorizing the community, was the story. So they asked St. Francis to come, and he talked to the wolf and he loved it. And as a result, there was transformation. So I consider that a story of my interior.
Wow.
So I know that if I want to heal over here, it takes love. And it also takes courage, because those are the hard places that haven't had a voice, that were in the unconscious, which if you look at all this dark hair, I think is very much my unconscious. And then here's all the seeds of growth, which we had seeds today too. So I was really like, oh, I'm in the right picture.
That is amazing.
And yeah, and there's the sun.
Oh,
and it flows into
incredible.
I guess I consider that my spiritual receptivity, so that I receive the wisdom of God rather than my own. So,
it's incredible.
Anyway, that's my story, guys. Thank you.
Well, no, it's incredible. So the wolf, so are you aware? I don't know, maybe that's not something you want to share, but
go ahead.
The wolf what? So yes, in the St. Francis story, what always touched me so much was how they wanted to kill it because it was killing them, that attack, but it was an instinct. It's a natural animal who just really needed to eat. So he was killing their livestock because it was hungry.
Yeah.
And Francis just worked out compassion for the wolf and for the people. Like he found a way to provide what the wolf needed.
Yeah.
And embraced it and loved it. And so for that energy in you, what was it that needed to be loved and
I think there's been a number of things. At the time that I made that, I found my journal entry because I survived incest as a child. And so much of that stays buried really deep, and there's not a lot to even work with sometimes, but there's fear and there's a lot of anger. And a lot of the healing that I needed was about self-expression, which is easy to say. But if you're holding that deep kind of exiled trauma, honestly, I couldn't have written it. So the images and the story, gave me a portal to know that I had things that I could access. I had spiritual energy, and that expressing it is flowers coming out of my throat.
Yeah.
It's like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Those scary, dark places, the anger and that kind of, it wasn't fear. It was fucking terror that I didn't know where it was coming from, but my body knew. That was what started it, and now it's part of my process. I know that it doesn't just come up and say, hey, by the way, I need you to work with this. The wolf is back. Something's usually going on in my body. And I find an image, and I know that love is the power. So trying to find that. And the villagers in the story, those are those inner critics and those defensive voices and self-criticism, criticism of others. But whatever the hell you do, don't look at this. So, So yeah, I'm grateful that you shared that story last class. And you're not kidding, the power of a story can.
Wow. Let's just take a moment of silence. What was shared was so deep. Well, you brought every thread that we had for today, and just took it to another level from your heart and your honesty. And I mean, what Cathy shared is like, I mean, I'm sure decades of inner work and true commitment.
And, you know, it was beautiful because your request gave me the opportunity to appreciate that. Yeah. And just to be tender in the way I treat myself, even as I continue to grow. So I keep that picture in my room, and when I look at it, it blesses me because it came from something greater than me. And
yeah,
you know, like it was a gift to me.
That's right. Yeah.
And what's interesting is I'm not confident with art.
Well,
it takes me forever to just so it was, to be very honest, really hard to show you guys because it's
really?
a very
yeah,
I don't show people.
Oh.
Here I don't feel afraid of really saying anything, because how else does anything change or heal?
Yeah,
If it's hidden, and that's part of my painting. It's like,
that's right.
love it. So if you love it, you can share it. You don't have to hide it anymore.
That it's the most healing thing.
Yeah.
We bring the whole process of bringing what's held in dark into the light.
Yeah.
In thy light shall we see light. That's the psalm that is on the course page.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have to be afraid of it. It's in us, collective unconscious. By being human, we all are participating in the collective unconscious. We have every freaking thing inside of us. So it's good just to bring it into the light and say, this is what I'm working with. This is what we don't have to be afraid of it, because the love that welcomes it, that says, oh, hello in there.
Yeah.
Hello in there, you creepy thing.
Exactly. And what I found was the creepy thing was a terrified child.
There you go.
You know, who was acting like a wolf. And
Yep.
that was the real grace in it. So this is what I keep on my desk. I don't know if you can read it, but it says, for thee, O Lord, do I face this state within myself. And it helps. It really helps. That's because when that stuff comes up, man, you're pumping the brakes hard. Like yeah.
Well, and I think we said on the second session here that what's at the base of the darkness of the unconscious is the self, capital S. And in Jung's Jungian paradigm, the self is underneath. It's at the bottom of the dark. That's the sunlight. So God is here. We don't have to fear the darkness because we're really going in search of God. Really, when we take a plunge in and acquaint ourselves like you're doing, you know, for thee, O Lord, what is it? Do I face this state in myself?
Oh Lord, do I face this state within myself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're doing it because we know God's in there, in the mix of it all somewhere. So
thank you, Fran.
Thank you, Cathy. That was
very
really
gracious to me. I appreciate everybody's time and attention.
Well, sure. Yes. We appreciate it so much. Don't we love hearing people's inner treasures? Anybody else?
I just like to share regarding the Cathy's stories and Cathy's painting. As you were showing it, I don't know, that painting, I don't know how to say it, but it's like it was alive. I don't know how to express it, but it's like the feeling I got, that it's alive. Sorry, that's the best I can do with words. So thank you for that. So it was very, very impactful.
I
Yes.
I would like to share something with Cathy, because his paint reached very deeply in my soul, and I really thought that God is the artist and Cathy is the brush that paints the canvas. And I really love the paint, and I really feel the kind of love you put in this paint is amazing, and it's pure love. It's the love putting in a paint. Thanks for sharing this. Is a very beautiful gift. Thank you, Cathy. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
I just wanted to say one thing. Cathy, I can't put into words, but when I saw that picture that you did, even before you began to explain it, I was in tears. So it just truly touched me emotionally, and I'm not sure why, but it just, and then you shared your story of your seed, if you will, and it's just really beautiful. So thank you for sharing that.
All right, y'all gonna make me cry. It's so touching.
Well, join the club. I'm just a mess over here, you guys. Thank you very much. I was not expecting anything like that. So, you know,
No.
you're giving something back to me that the painting can't give to me, which is you're witnessing something that I can't see. And so I'm very, very moved, and it's incredible how just you guys sharing with me is amplifying my own healing too. So thank you very, very much. Very kind.
This is the power. This is the power of loving people in groups like this.